welcome back to the Raven Fam channel.
I'm Chris.
I'm Amy.
And we're excited to bring you the pros and cons of living in Waco, Texas.
Yep.
You want to start off with the pros?
We'll start with pro number one. It's very affordable.
Living in Texas is a dream come true whenever you're trying to make your dollar go the longest distance, because you just face it, you can buy a bigger house in Texas than California.
Yeah, you can. Yeah. Not only houses are more affordable, but like cars and shopping and everything else.
Yep. Basically, buying a gallon of milk is probably about a quarter of how much you're going to be paying over in those places like Hawaii and California and those places.
Yeah.
And gas is pretty cheap too.
Yeah, so basically to sum that whole point up, since it's kind of going nowhere, it's very affordable to live here.
I know. We're really good at making videos, by the way.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Let's just go on to pro number two. Schools are great.
Schools are really good, actually. So, whenever we're moving from Germany, we'll go back to the cost of living thing real quick.
Okay.
So, moving back from Germany, we could move anywhere we wanted to. And, I mean, seriously, the job that I was getting, they said you can live in any of these states. And we had all of America to choose from. And starting a new job and living in a new place, we thought Texas would be the easiest transition. So, being able to afford the biggest house, the best school area, and all that stuff, all that came into play where we wanted to just move to Texas. So, and that's the what she's talking about with the schools. I mean, what's it? A 9 out of 10?
Yeah, they're rated a 9 out of 10 on the greaterschools.org, I think is what it is.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Kids are learning so much.
I mean, it's really important because, so our oldest, he was in a military school on post, and it was really annoying to me because he was writing his letters upside down and backwards and his numbers, and that's fine. I know whenever they're just learning and all that stuff, but the teachers, they said, no, that's fine. Just write them backwards or upside down if you want to, and they never corrected him. So, like, I'm just now getting him to write everything correctly. And
not only was he behind on writing and doing all of that, but he was behind on reading. His kindergarten teacher didn't even try to teach them how to read.
Yeah.
They just kind of let him do whatever. So when he got back here, he got caught up super fast on reading and writing and math, and now he's doing great.
Yeah, so if you are kind of wondering about moving here to Texas and wondering how the schools are, they're pretty good. Just do your research whenever you're looking what area you're going to move into. So Waco is pretty good.
Yeah.
So any cons you would say with that?
No, there's no cons on schools.
Yeah, affordability and schools, those are both pros so far. So the first one I'm going to talk about is the town, the growth of the town. It seemed a lot smaller 3 years ago. That's how long we've been here for.
Yeah, it did.
And we've seen a lot of businesses and things being built, and a lot more people are coming to Waco than they used to, it seems like.
Yeah, it's expanding a lot. Magnolia is expanding more and more. They're actually expanding I-35 for more traffic to come in.
Yeah.
Businesses are being built everywhere. We're getting an Amazon sort facility, like 3 miles from us. Like, everything is just growing.
Yeah, and then, I mean, that's a good thing though, because
it's good for the economy.
It's good for the economy here in this area. You know, it was built on a farm. That's Waco and Hewitt area. That's where we lived and had our house at. It was good for growing their crops and everything, but then people started bringing the business in, and now it's becoming to be a busier city and everything. And with me, that's kind of a con, because whenever you have a smaller town that's built up, it's not really built like your Houston or your Dallas that can sustain that amount of people and traffic and business. You know, what do you think about that? Does it ever get on your nerves whenever you're trying to go somewhere and it's like a lot of traffic and stuff?
I mean, it brings up our first con is the traffic here in Waco, especially on I-35, is terrible. With all the road construction going on, all the stuff being added to town, traffic is just crazy all over the place. There's several times where we're sitting there on I-35 for 30 minutes at a standstill just waiting.
Yeah, this is a very passionate subject to her. That's why I drive all the time. She's drove on I-35 twice since we've been here.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I mean, we did move to Waco because it had that small town vibe. We really wanted everything to be really chill and relaxed. And if we want to go into the city, we don't live too far from Austin and San Antonio and all the other big cities, Houston, Dallas. So when it comes to traffic, that's why it's kind of a con when you're living in a smaller place like Waco. Compared to the bigger cities, and then you have all that traffic. That's why it's kind of a con, because you didn't expect it. So the growth is kind of where we are thinking about, like, is this really still that small town that we moved here for?
Yeah.
You know. So once you finally do get to where you're going, though, tell them about the shopping.
I mean, shopping is good. There's the Central Texas Marketplace. There's Richland Mall. There's shops downtown. Shopping is good, and if you can't find it here, we're an hour and a half from Austin.
Yeah.
Like, you can just go.
Every time we go, we try to make it a reason to go so we can go to the California Pizza Kitchen.
We do.
That place, I'll shout out, is one of my favorite places to go to. I like to get the, Chipotle. The Chipotle pizza, that's my favorite, so.
I'm basic. We just get pepperoni.
She doesn't like vegetable soup on her pizza, that's why, it has the corn and all that stuff. It's a little funky, but I like the spicy stuff, being from Louisiana and all that. So going
so shopping is good.
Yeah, going shopping is good. It's just a little drive, and you're gonna end up somewhere at some kind of a mall, and then they have little shopping places and everything. So due to the COVID right now, they're shut down like a lot of other places are, so around the world.
And then to go for a con after that one is, there's not a lot to do in Waco. Once you've done the museums, the zoo, the parks, and shopping, you're pretty much done. Like, there's nothing else to do here, but you can drive, take that day trip, go to Austin, go to Houston, go to Dallas, find different things to do. Even some of the smaller towns within like 30 minutes to an hour from here have different things to do, like drive through safaris and all kinds of different things.
The drive through the safari, it costs a lot of money though.
It does. But
that's why we haven't done it yet.
It's worth it.
I need to pay the rent.
I've heard it's worth it.
Yeah. You can almost buy another car payment with that or something. But so once you go on these trips and everything, like she said, you do them over and over and over again, so
we've been to the zoo probably like
they're fun things to
20
do.
times here.
What they do have is fun,
Yeah.
But we find ourselves going to different towns to go see. There's a winery that we like to go to. It's called the Red Caboose.
Yeah, Red Caboose Winery.
Shout out to that. That's a great place. We always buy a bottle of like a wine or two.
Yeah.
And they have some funky music going on. It's usually kind of crazy sounding like.
They do grape stomps usually once a year.
If you haven't ever done a grape
fun.
stomp, that's really cool with the family because the kids can get in there and they think that we drink the wine they step on.
So there, you can find things to do close to here.
Yeah, that's fun.
Next point.
Next point. The Southern hospitality in Texas.
Is amazing.
Proud to be a Texan.
They're very proud to be Texan with their Pledge of Allegiance to the state.
One state under God. Seriously,
yeah.
that is a thing. Check it out. My son came home from school and
they say it every day.
He said, I learned the Pledge of Allegiance today. And I said, let's hear it. And he started rattling off about one state under God. And I'm like, all right, well, don't mess with Texas.
Yeah. Texas Southern hospitality is the best.
So when we first moved here from Germany, we didn't know exactly what to expect with the people. In Germany, they have a different way of living there that is a little bit opposite of that Southern hospitality. They're still great people. I'm not going to say that. They just have a different way of, a different mindset as being social interaction. So whenever we first moved here, I went to get our internet turned on. And there was an elderly man. He was walking in and he opened the door for me. And I said, no, after you. We kind of had like a back and forth for a couple of seconds about who was going to open the door for each other. Finally, I kicked him and made him go in. So. No, he kicked me. But it's not all cowboy hats and Wranglers around here.
No.
People really treat you respectfully, and they have that common respect for everybody. So
they do, yeah.
I really can appreciate the life here in Texas. If you're an outsider, it doesn't matter if you're from California or what, they're not going to try to shed their beliefs on you or anything. They know everybody comes from different walks of life and they're pretty accepting.
Yeah.
And if you need anything, we'll be here for you, sugar, you know, or honey, or darling. They always, that's another thing they like to use those kind of pet names for people.
Yeah.
Sweetheart or honey. So be careful whenever you go through the drive-through.
Yeah, I get called sweetie all the time.
They're not trying to pick up your phone number. They might be. So, all right. So let's talk about the climate. So Amy, she grew up a lot in the Northwest in Washington, and I grew up in Louisiana. So I mean, we spent a little bit of our time in central parts of America, Missouri, and Oklahoma, and Arkansas. So we know that it gets warmer here, you know, but I didn't know it got that hot.
It gets hot.
Hot,
like,
yeah.
Don't go outside hot.
I've been to Iraq before, and I still say that it gets hot in Texas. So I was camping there for like a year, so it was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hot here. It's so hot.
So we're really crazy on being outside and doing things with the family, camping, fishing, swimming, all that kind of stuff outside. And in the summer months, it gets so hot you never want to go outside.
Unless you're going to the lake and being in the water, you don't want to be out.
Yeah, if you're going to go outside in the swimming pool.
Yeah.
I feel like, you know, the people that work on the side of the road, construction or building houses, whatever you're doing outside, I feel for those because they're sweating. Like, I'm going to just, instead of change my shirt, just wring it out really quick, you know?
Yeah.
You got to be, because I remember mowing the yard and it wouldn't even feel like that hot outside during the time I would do it, and I would be almost dead by the time I'd be done.
Yeah.
I've seen you too. She'd be like, all right, I got half the yard, your turn.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I would just quit.
I mean, it was a regular size yard, I guess.
Yeah, so it gets hot here, and then during the fall and winter, it goes from hot to cold to hot to cold to warm to freezing. Like it's very indecisive. You can wear 4 seasons in 1 week.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to separate your clothes from winter to summer because you're going to be wearing them back and forth for most of the year. So, but I mean, that's not really necessarily a con if you are inside most of the time and you have a good air conditioner, or you like being outside and doing things like swimming and things. And also, if you like the warmer, drier climate, that's totally fine.
Yep.
It's not, I mean, for me, I like maybe a cooler climate with a little bit of breeze, you know, most times. So
I want to be warm, but not hot.
It's not necessarily, some people like it really hot. So, I mean, this is up to you what you like. That's more of I'm in between on both of those. So, because when we moved from Germany, we didn't want really to see snow that much.
Yeah, we didn't want to see snow at all after living there.
Yeah, so we've seen snow one time. It was gone within 2 hours. So, I think that's just about the list there. I mean, we could add a few other things.
I mean, it's a great place to live. It's great for families, especially when you're starting your family out, because everything is affordable. I don't really have any cons to living here in Waco other than what we listed.
She does a lot of shopping. I'm just going to add one thing. She likes to do a lot of shopping, and most of it's just to make sure that we have everything we need for the family. But she can do more of that because the cost of living is low, you know, so you can save more money. And if you don't have a lot to do, just go shop, and then you can have things to do in your house. Or like we bought this video camera here, and, you know, our recorded equipment, just because we had more money to be able to afford things. Now, if we were in California or something like with a high cost of living, it would be harder to come by the daily things.
Right now.
So you have more liberty and, you know, spending, and whenever you live in a place like Texas. So that's about wrapped up the video for this.
To sum it all up, great place to live. Yep.
We love it, and we recommend you guys coming to see us because
I mean, we're moving soon, but
you have a little bit longer to come hang out with us. But we'll see you next time.